all the hype, all the teasers, all the clues, it has finally led to Mississippi Acres Preserve here in the Hunter Call of the Wild, and a huge thank you to Expansive Worlds for the opportunity to play it a little bit early here in early access. And I mean, just look at what we have out here in front of us. That just looks incredible, and I cannot wait to get out into this environment and see what this map has to offer. Now, I'm hoping by the end of this video to at least get to see one of everything as far as new species go on this map, one of everything for new and old, if all goes extremely well. And man, we all know there's alligators on this map. I cannot wait to see what those look like. Now, of course, the first step to any new map is unlocking that first lookout point, and as we're climbing the stairs here, I want to take a look at the new weapon that comes with this map, the 22 Hornet, and I've actually not equipped any ammo yet, because in my opinion, surprisingly, it comes with two different types. There are actually polymer and soft point rounds for the 22 Hornet, and I'm very intrigued to see over the course of our time on this map if each is really going to have a purpose. For now, we'll start with the polymer tips, and there are a number of species on this map that it can take ethically. The 22 Hornet is a weapon that we've been asking for a long time. It covers both Class 1 and Class 2 animals, and I think that is the huge thing here, and it might just make it a kind of must-have for every loadout. But what I've been waiting to get my hands on is this. I saw it earlier, and some of you guys may recognize this weapon right away. It is the 7mm Empress Magnum, which was a console exclusive weapon, and evidently now is available on PC, so I really want to get to use it some today. I've always liked the look of it and have always wanted to get to use it, and I'm really excited to see it's actually here in the game now, so that is going to be a weapon we'll be using as well. And at this point, we're going to just kind of head out and see if we have our loadout set, so let's take a look at this new map. Well, that is one of the new species here on Mississippi Acres Preserve, a Bobwhite Quail, which we have brought the 16 gauge for. We have the 22, and technically that would work, but I have a feeling with birds this small, we're probably going to want a little bit of a spread. Now, I am assuming that they kind of act like the pheasants, and I would guess they kind of just hide until we get close, and that seemed to be what happened with this one, which I would say we hit pretty good there at about 20 meters. It's a good looking bird as well, a brown fur type evidently. I do like them, and I'm excited to see what they might look like in the trophy lodge, as well as what the other variations may be. And there are a bunch more tracks here, so we might be running into more as we continue our way north. Man, look at that gator out there. It's a level 4 male, but from like 300 meters, it's got like a little glow, like a yellowish glow to its eyes, and just kind of laying there with its mouth open, which I think is kind of what you would expect out of a resting gator. Now, I'm not too sure where we should attempt to shoot this, but I am sure we're going to use the Empress, so I think we might just kind of attempt a sort of normal lung shot, and we'll sort of see. Okay, first of all, that was a pretty neat little animation. It's not dying, unfortunately, so I'm not too sure where we hit it, but it's just kind of, well, it was starting to bleed out, but it just sort of went down. So I don't actually know what that means. I also don't know how to get over there and look for blood, so I guess we'll look around and see if it comes over to this side or what the kind of reaction there is. So, a couple of things. Number one, we do have hunting pressure, and oddly enough, it's bright pressure, despite the fact that we only shot one animal here, and that was the gator. The next thing I would say is that not only did I not see it appear anywhere in the water, I don't know that it's floating like towards where we shot it from. So maybe they kind of dive down. There's a level 7 over there. I'd be interested again to kind of watch how that works. Let's try this before it gets into the water. Kind of attempting. Okay. Well, that one we got good. And then it disappeared. Oh. Wait. It's there? I don't really know what's happening, but hopefully it stays. They look just incredible. I really think they did a fantastic job with them. Kind of bobbing up and down a little bit in the water. I mean, that is just... I never thought I'd see that in Call of the Wild. That is so cool that we're claiming a olive... I don't know what to call it. Skin type? Obviously not fur and not plumage like other species that we've had in the past that were not a fur type. I just heard one, but a 426.5 gold heart shot on a olive alligator. Now this is the blood from the first gator. I can't manage to click on it because there's a track over top, but the important part is clearly it is vital blood, and he just kind of went into the water and submerged and seemingly disappeared. So I don't know if that's a mechanic. Like, it is not over there floating by where we shot it, so maybe that's something to be careful of. So I really want to know, as one just apparently is very close to us. I didn't know there was one over there. We've got a level 5 over on that side. I'm not sure if we need to be worried. I mean, the sounds that thing's making. Also, they can clearly swim really fast. I'm gonna just kind of back up a little bit. Did it just do what the level 4 did? Because it seems as though it disappeared. So they might be able to, like, dive down then? Because it almost feels like the European rabbits on Hirschfelden and Te Awaroa, they've just apparently been able to dive into the water and be gone. So maybe then, if they die in that state, they just can't be recovered. That might actually be what happened to the level 4. So now what I want to do is kind of try to make a brain shot here. I believe hunting gators in real life, that is the normal shot to go for. Look at the mouth on that thing. That is so detailed and well done. Now, that's a little different than most species. He's kind of chilling out there again. Pretty much any species in Call of the Wild, if you alert them, you've got an opportunity for a shot, but with that animation, I don't think you can just simply take that shot. So the question is, where is the brain on an alligator? I believe it's kind of like right behind the eye, or at least, you know, realistically it would be. I think we're just going to shoot for the back of the eye and hope for the best. I'd say that was a brain shot. So, given my kind of limited knowledge of gator anatomy, it seems the hitboxes are pretty true to life. And I don't mean to spend the entire video on gators, but I don't think there's going to be too many complaints. They were most definitely the kind of feature species for this map. I just think they did such a good job. Everything from the models themselves to the kind of the skin, the animations. I think they did a really good job. Another olive variation. Brain shot, and man, it's different because of the size of these animals and the way that they have to get them to fit into the harvest screen. I don't know that I can see where the brain is. Is it kind of like just a tiny area there right behind the eyes? Like I said, I think kind of true to life, but that's not going to be the easiest thing to go for. We saw a vital hit. That level 4 one got away. So either more powerful weapons or attempt that brain shot. That's kind of the way I'm seeing this. That was kind of scary for an animal that is probably less than 20 pounds. Apparently, there are a couple of raccoons moving around here, and I really want to see. Now that's a level 3. There's also like a almost blonde looking one. That's a 2. And they're in the same weight estimate range. Now I don't know what we're looking for in terms of level. A level 3 would seem to be good. That's cool. Oh my god, there's so many. they're just standing on their hind legs almost like a bear. And I can't spot them because they're so little. I'm just gonna... Oh my. Okay, so that's the 22 Hornet. That was the 3. No idea if that was a good shot. Maybe shouldn't... It's kind of going down. That might have been okay. I don't know if we should have attempted that or not, but I was not prepared for that 22 to sound like that. It almost sounds like the 243, actually. Now that I'm thinking of it, I swear I could hear them moving in through there. So this one is a level 2 brown. Look at those guys. That is so well done. And by the way, something I did see noted was the fact that the fur on apparently all animals has gotten some kind of touch-ups. So that's going to be intriguing to see as we move along. Now that's a silver level 2, and diamond is 12, which is just fantastic. And now I definitely need to get a diamond raccoon. That would pretty well confirm, though, based on the score estimate of the level 3. Number one, that we didn't mess up in taking that shot. We did lung shot it, in fact, but even that is a silver, so they must go surely to level 5. That is going to be an odd thing. Hunting like a small game species that doesn't max at 3. I guess it adds a bit of variety. And, ooh, 10.5 kg. That would... I don't know. Is that the weight range we're looking for? And of course it was here. Let's see if we can find that. They can't possibly move that fast. I guess if there's one thing that we've discovered, 8 to 10 kg isn't that special. In fact, that is a 4 running right by us here. I think we shot a little low. They are quicker than I would have expected. We missed both of those shots. I really question if this is the correct sound for this gun. Naturally, he's kind of changing direction there. Was that still fleeing? We must have hit a little low. Interesting the way some of their animations work, but yeah, I guess we're looking for above that 10.5 kg range, and they may just be simply scored based on their weight in kg, which would mean a track up to 12 is probably what we are after. Now, we had lung shot that, and it's a 10.1 gray fur type. Kind of cool looking, to be honest. That was interesting, and I had read in the provided materials that they will kind of gather around man-made stuff, and if we look in here, I saw that when there was sort of like a stampede of raccoons running by. I don't know if it's a trash can in this field, which would be kind of odd, but I think that might be what they came from. I mean, it says recycling, but there's no sign of an actual zone. I don't know, I just find it odd that they all would have ran right by there, but that was actually a kind of cool little thing to encounter. I didn't expect them to be as interesting as they were. Now this I actually thought was intriguing. We've got some wild hogs out here, and they do seem to be the same models as the feral pigs. And unfortunately, not much happening level-wise. Now I will say, I can already see the difference in the fur, and as I mentioned earlier, apparently all species got some kind of, I would say, upgrades almost to their fur, and it does definitely show on these guys. I'm hoping to get a shot, even at a female, just to take a look. Definitely a good solid lung shot from the Empress there, so we can see what the difference is on that. Even at first glance, that looks way better to me, because they always did seem like a little, I don't know, less furry than they should be, and I don't know. Is there some difference there? I'd really have to go back to Te Awaroa and compare these tusks. I'm almost certain are bigger. I don't know about the rest of the model. It may be just the fur quality being better. The face looks more slender or something. That's going to be something to pay attention to as we continue along here, if they are the same or not. They seem to be very similar, just with a different name, which in my opinion still kind of makes them a different species, similar to puma and mountain lion. I've always treated them as two different species in terms of when I'm trying to have a diamond of everything, I want to have a diamond mountain lion and a diamond puma, and the same would go for feral pigs and wild hogs. But I don't know, they might be a little even more varied there. One of those males is coming across. That'll definitely work. Let's go and take a look at that. Now that is such a cool thing. Man, they've got way longer legs than the red fox. Now, that's a class 2 animal. I really wanted a brain shot there, and that definitely did not happen. So we're probably going to lose the trophy value on that. I don't know if there's an opportunity for like a lung shot. We already know from the raccoons, the 22 Hornet is actually not super powerful. That's another hit anyway. Not looking that good in terms of health drop, and I don't know if that's going to kill it. We'll hit one more. Now that felt better. I think that's how we got vital. Now, it's a level 5 female. I would certainly expect level 9 and male to be what we're after as far as diamonds goes, so that'll be one to kind of just examine the model. Speaking of such things, a dark brown wild hog, yeah, something's different. I mean, not only is the, I'm going to call it like distribution of color on the dark brown fur type different. I think it's a more slender face, maybe longer ears. That's really cool. And another new thing is the Eastern Wild Turkey, which is very determined to make an appearance in this video. Just special delivery. I want to know what the differences here are. Okay, that confused me. The plumage type is bronze. It is a gold. It's the tail feathers mainly, and also the wing feathers here. I think they nailed that. Now, I wonder what all kind of variations there are. That looks really good. A little bit of different coloration in the head once again from the Merriams and the Rio Grandes. Couldn't have asked for that to work out any better. Just flying towards as we're going to track the fox. Now, a male I am at least somewhat interested in. We just fired a shotgun, so I don't know how big that can be. I couldn't imagine a much worse spot to be looking for a really small animal like that, so decided to just scoot out of there. A gray fur type, and that's one that I had picked up a track from and kind of followed along a little ways. The whiskers are a little dark, in my opinion, but everything else looks really good. The red and gray distribution is fantastic, and we were so close to brain shotting that from the back. And of course, the flesh hit, kind of to be expected. And then finally, a lung shot. Is that... Oh, was that a bear? That looks entirely different. It's a level 2 female. I didn't even recognize that sound of a fleeing bear. Now, I definitely, as much as it may just be level 2, I want to bring that down and get a look. I don't know where our shot angle is going to be. It was there, obviously, had we been ready. That looks, I think, way, way better than what we're used to. I don't know if that's going to be into a lung. This has been all over the place. It's not that big of a change, but that looks just orders of magnitude better than the previous bears that we had. This is evidently a black fur type. I mean, look at that. I'm shocked that shot brought it down. Actually, we didn't do too poorly. 300 might have gotten a vital there had we brought it along. I just love the mixing in of some brown in like the face and towards the back half of the body. I cannot wait to see the different variations. Also, by the way, black was not a fur type for black bears in the past. Neither was red-brown for whitetail. Hold on a minute. Got another whitetail, also red-brown. Also a whole bunch of raccoons actually just run away with it. There was a 5. Okay. I guess we'll try to go get that. Now, the score is 10-12. Probably not ideal. By the way, I was thinking of this once we started chasing the bear. I was going to apologize in advance for any more iterations of losing track of things and chasing other stuff. I am just a kid in a candy store right now, but that over there is quite intriguing. Probably no better time to introduce the raccoon color, by the way. I forgot that was even a part of this map. Less scary call than they seem to make. Hopefully we can bring him out of there. I think I've got the waypoint roughly over where he was. I just can't really see him, and that is the challenge of hunting small game on a map like this. I mean, I thought they were right in there. There's one there. Oh, that's a nervous 3 though. So the question is the 5 nervous? Now, I don't think it ever spooked. Yeah, there he is right there. He's calm. but still just resting. Now, I think we saw their kind of alert animation, and I think it would be very doable to make a vital hit like that. So we're gonna just kind of stand up. We're pretty close to him, and just casually kind of move his way. The closer we can get, the better, in my opinion. We don't know exactly how good this 22 Hornet is just yet. Now, I wouldn't have expected to be able to walk this close. I have noticed in the past, sometimes moving close to an animal while scoped in seems to reduce the amount of noise you make. But we are getting very, very close. I'm tempted to just take that shot. I mean, we did okay earlier. Just kind of stretching out there. Yeah, let's stand and then try to get a shot in through like the shoulder. Not an insta drop, but he is going down, and I see a lot of blood. So this is the weirdest thing to get any amount of adrenaline over. A level 5 raccoon, of all things, out here on Mississippi Acres Preserve. Is this going to be our first diamond on this new map? The max score was the requirement, and it is a 12 scoring diamond. Could there be a better way to start out on this map? That is both amazing and hilarious. Perfect, right on the nose. 12, a gray fur type, which I mentioned the last one we shot, I thought looked really good. And yeah, the 22 Hornet did great, right through the shoulder and into the lung. That's awesome. I don't know when we're going to get to go back. I mean, like I said, I've gotten sidetracked on the things that I've been sidetracked on. It's been just all over the place, and a lot of stuff to go back to. And speaking of things to go back to, the fur types, I wanted to get back to that, but that was unexpected. If I can get focused for a minute, we have a brown plumage type turkey. By the way, I gotta pick up a gator track at some point and see what it says, because surely it's not fur type if they have plumage type for the birds. I mean, raccoons we kind of would expect. There's another female gray fox over there. I want to get back to the whitetail tracks, because that's where things were definitely different. And actually, we also have a brown fur type whitetail buck. Now, as I mentioned, there were kind of fur quality changes, as we see a tan there too, for all species, and it seems as though they've basically gotten rid of commons and replaced that with, you know, different kind of just describing words for what are ultimately common spawn animals. But they've been moving that direction, I would say, ever since Silveridge Peaks, and maybe even before that. A little bit with Virunga Savannah. A lot of kind of common spawn animals, such as, say, mountain goat on Silveridge Peaks. The light brown, common, white, and beige all are common spawns, but only one of them was actually called common. Now, it seems to be the case that they've just completely gotten rid of the word common and have a bunch of different kind of colorations. But I think that's cool, and that just adds more variety, and I'm curious, you know, we saw with the black bear there was a black fur type, that was never a thing. What other kind of new variations, or at least new descriptions of the variations are out there? Now finally, there is the final species that we hadn't seen yet that is new to Mississippi Acres Preserve, and that still gets me every time. I do not expect that 22 to sound like that, but a gold female eastern cottontail rabbit. Now that is very intriguing. Diamond is 1.9. We might have a kind of break in the trend here for the rabbit and hare species, and to be honest, I really liked the kind of rule of thumb that was in place. Basically, for rabbits, the males made diamond, and for hares, the females made diamond. I actually, and I don't even know if it may have been that one, I didn't pay attention to the weight. I had a track that went up to 2.1 kg for a rabbit, and it was a female. So they may be the ones to be on the lookout for. I swear I just saw one go behind this stuff. I want to go back and try to locate that track now. It might have been a good one. I simply just could not locate that rabbit track, so unfortunately that'll have to be for another day, but I wanted to come out here and look for whitetail. I was able to find their drink time from a random whitetail track earlier, and it is actually the same as Rancho if we go ahead and zoom in here, 8 to 11 for their drink time. So there's a whole bunch of them out there. and I definitely can see already just the differences in the fur. I can't say exactly like what I'm seeing, but they just don't look like the whitetail of old, so trying to determine, that guy's probably got the best estimate. We do have a couple over here as well, but they are less than impressive bucks. By the way, I will show on the map where this lake's at. It might be, if anybody's trying to do a whitetail grind on this map, one to consider, but about a 300 meter shot. We'll go ahead and hit that guy. Should be a quick kill. And just to zoom out, it's over here on the east side of the map. I think it's going to be pretty good, and I bet there are more if we were to continue around, and by the time we go over there, we may well find out. So we ended up shooting a brown fur type whitetail buck, and again, it might be just subtle changes to like the coloration. I think there may be a little more detailed fur as well, but they are definitely different than what we saw on the past maps, and I do believe on that note, unless I've missed something, we have shot one of everything on this map, and I probably should have done more taxonomizing than I did, but there is a little bit of a difference in this early access to the past ones. As long as I'm understanding things correctly, we are on basically what is the main save game. Like, we have our 13 million cash from a lot of the red deer grinding and all that, and I'm kind of assuming that we'll go back, and that would mean we could keep our diamond raccoon, but that would also kind of mean if we were just taxing a bunch of stuff to simply look at it, it would just sort of forever be in our trophy manager. And I've had issues in the past trying to delete things out of the trophy manager, so I didn't really want to kind of deal with all that. So we're going to go to the lodge, we're going to take a look at what we did taxonomize, and also take a look at the potential new multi-mounts. And there are indeed a couple of multi-mounts. I want to go through them real quick. There are just two. There's one called Not a Log, which of course is a alligator and a raccoon. And the other I really like, Foxy Foes, a gray fox and a red fox. If we can ever get a diamond gray fox, I think we may have to rethink our multi-mount with the diamond red fox and rabbit. I really like this idea, but just check out the poses for this multi-mount. Of course, we have our diamond raccoon in there with the level 7 gator that we shot. There are so many different poses, and of course there are going to be a bunch of mirrored ones, but I really like the work that went into these. There are a couple, of course, where the gator is attempting to eat the raccoon. There is one where he was successful there, and I like the raccoon just kind of basically gave up. But then there's a couple where the raccoon's not so much given up, and I just appreciate the fact that they added that in. There's a couple of multi-mounts. There's one with the goose and the bison as well, and I think if you had that, some of these poses would work really good, but as you can see, it's not just those kinds of poses, and I can't say I wouldn't use this one. There's a couple that are just, I wouldn't say over the top, but definitely a little less on the realistic side and more on the funny side, but even one where the gator and the raccoon are just taking a snooze side by side, and also one like that. I like the variety that went into it, and I'm quite excited to see actually what there is as far as the red fox one, or I guess I should say the gray fox one, as that's the newer species, but for now I guess we'll leave it like that. And by the way, again, the gator model, I really just think they nailed it, and I really do want to get not only a diamond, but I wonder what rares and other variations there are. I think we've only seen the olive, and they do say fur type. That probably should be potentially addressed, but I think that is really cool, and I mean, a diamond raccoon on our first hunt, I definitely am not going to complain. But anyway, that is officially going to do it for our first hunt on Mississippi Acres Preserve. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.